Yes, what you see is correct. Your eyes are not failing you. Menstrual cycles are for everyone, always. Now, that's that tampon company, those things that women want men to go to the store to buy for them when they're on their menstrual cycle. And men, real men, don't feel comfortable walking in the stores buying a pack of tampons, right? But always remove a female symbol from sanitary pads following trans activist complaint. Yes. So you're probably wondering which transgender, male or female, is complaining. Which ones have a problem with the woman's symbol being on a pack of tampons or sanitary pads? Now, when I first read this article, I really didn't read it, and I was thinking that it was the dudes that want to be women, want to have periods, and there are dudes out there that want the curse of women. They want to be able to have menstrual cycles. Dudes want to be able to bleed like women bleed when their bodies clean themselves. Okay, because it's a process that the body of a woman goes through. It cleans itself, right? So women bleed every month. They have menstrual cycles. Some women don't. They reach a certain age or whatever condition they have to deal with. Sometimes they reach a period in life where they stop actually having menstrual cycles, right? And these women, I guess they kind of like that because they don't have to deal with the crampings and all the other curses that come along with women menstrual cycles. But it's mind blowing, and that's not what the article is about, but it's mind blowing that dudes actually want to be able to bleed every month like a woman. They're actually trying to replace women. And it's interesting because both sides, trans men, trans women, are looking for power. But the power is slightly different. The power that women want, I'm not even going to restrict this to trans men and trans women. The power women want is to be able to have the power of men. Yes, there are some that want to be men, but if you look at the average transvestite or tranny woman, or the woman that want to be a man, she want to be able to sleep with everybody. She want to be able to be promiscuous like a man. Men cheat. So men, and you see that on paternity court where women get on there and say, well, I slept around with 20 men because he cheated with 20 women. So I want to be able to do what that man do, right? But the difference is the man don't get pregnant. The man is not stuck with trying to figure out who the child's father is, right? But you got women that want to cheat because men cheat. And when you look at a lot of these lesbian females, dykes as we know them, a lot of these dykes, man, want to be able to take a woman from a man. She want to be able to flirt, act like a man. She spits, she hawks, she spits, and she do things that she think men do, right? She sag her pants. Anything that she watch men, and I made a video on my Fearless 2005 channel about this in the past, on how you have women that steal the soul of men. They look at men, and whatever man, they take bits and pieces from different men. They see different men having certain swags about them or certain something about them, so they take that and adapt it to themselves, right? So you have women that do want to be men, but they really want the power of men. They want to be able to stand up and pee, right? Whereas you have men want to actually be a woman. So now you have guys, man, that want the curses of women, the menstrual cycle, the thing that women hate the most. Women hate periods. They hate menstrual cycle. They hate the cramps. It's a curse. But you have dudes out there, transgender dudes, or they call themselves females, but you have these dudes that want the curse of women. And the thought came to my mind a few minutes ago that maybe they want to be able to have periods as a sexual fantasy. And the reason I say that is because when you think of men that's in a relationship with a woman, a sexual relationship with a woman, there are times that women, either they know it or they're not aware that they're on their period. And then the man, she still opens her legs to that man. They still have sex. And then the men go up in this woman, and then he realizes that there's a lot of blood. Right? I'm trying to be G on this, but it's kind of hard to be G on a topic like this. But he realized he went up in this woman, and she's on a period. So there's like blood all over his yang and on the sheets, and she's like, oh, my period must have came down. You must have made my period come. That's what some females say, right? Oh, you made my period come. So the dude has blood on him. So maybe a lot of these transgender females, which happen to be dudes, want the period of women for sexual fantasies of being able to have a man go up inside them and they bleed on the man. And that's disgusting, right? So, and maybe YouTube might remove this video, right? Or censor this video, but maybe that's some type of demonic fantasy that tranny dudes have to want to be able to bleed on men. Other than that, I can't imagine or find reason on why a man would want that curse of a woman. The curse that women have. But the article is short. Let me get back to the article, right? So when you look at the words that trans activist complaints, which trans activists are you referring to? Well, it's talking about the so-called trans male, the female. The person that was born a woman that wants to be a man. Women's products maker always is at the center of a fresh feminist versus transgender skirmish. Now you have the feminists, and it's interesting because a lot of the feminists and a lot of the females were supporting transgender males or females, dudes that were born dudes, that want to be a female. They were in support of that because they were saying that everybody deserves to be loved. Everybody want to be loved. They want to be able to have the rights, to get married and have the same benefits that a man and woman that get married have. And I knew back then, and even made videos on this, that they really don't want that. There's more to it. That's just one of the steps that they're taking to become a woman, to kind of push women out of the way. They want to be able to have sex with a man without letting the man know that they were born a male, right? They want to be able to do that, right? They want to be able to be HIV positive. And I spoke on this, that there's a law now that New York State is coming out with where they don't have to disclose that they're HIV positive. Who would not want to know if someone have a deadly disease, right? But they want to make it a law that they don't have to tell, that they won't be criminally penalized for not disclosing the fact that they're HIV positive, right? So you have these transgender females, which was born a male, want the rights of a woman. They want to be a woman, excuse me. They want to be able to push women out of the way. They want to be able to take a woman's husband. They want to be able to take a woman's man. They want to be able, they just want, and you have females out there supporting them and don't realize that they're only supporting you because they're trying to sap up your energy. They're stealing your feminine energy to use against you, to sleep with your man. So while you're like, oh, they cool to hang out with, come on, girl, let's hang out together. And you're hanging out, well, they're on the side looking at your man. looking for signs that your man might have interest in them. That's their ultimate goal, is to take your man, because they're trying to replace you, and you don't realize that. All right. But it says women's product maker always is at the center of a fresh feminist versus transgender skirmish after caving in to trans activist outrage and removing the discriminatory Venus symbol from its packaging. Okay, because men don't do the always thing, man. Men barely go to the store for his woman to get them. We don't feel comfortable going to the store, And there was a time where the females, you say, well, if you feel secure about being a man, it wouldn't bother you. It's just but it's a man thing. You wouldn't understand. You got to be a man to understand. Now, dudes that feel comfortable going in the store, grabbing a package of Kotex or Always, in my opinion, I think that's a bit suspect. But when you see a manly man go in there and get a pack, you're gonna see in his body language and in his face that he's embarrassed. You know what I mean? He might even play it off and tell other women like, well, I don't know which one to get. Which one should I get? He try to play it off because he's embarrassed. It's out of a man's nature to be able to do that. And you got to be a man to understand, right? But now it's discriminatory to have that woman's symbol on that packaging. Well, because of the fact that you have some transgender males, some females, they were born a woman, and they feel, yeah, because I'm a man now, so that's offensive to me because we use always too, right? But wait a minute. You can't play both sides. Either you're a man or you're not a man. Because we men don't concern ourselves what's on the package of a woman's sanitary napkins. You should accept the fact that you are a woman. You were born a woman. You're going to die a woman. You're going to remain a woman. Until you stop having periods, you have to go in there and buy a pack of sanitary napkins and deal with the fact that the Venus symbol is on that package because you too are a woman. You are not a man. That takes my mind back to that movie Friday. when dude got out of prison and he went after little Pimp Mike, and Pimp Mike had to grab him with a pair of pliers on his private part because he was trying to rape Pimp Mike. And Pimp Mike says, "You are a man. I'm a man. So I'm a boy." He said, "I'm a boy," right? In other words, you're still a woman. You're a woman. I don't care how you try to sag your pants to look like a dude and spit and hawk and do things you think men do, right? You're still a woman, and you shouldn't have an issue with what's on the side of a package of sanitary napkins if you're claiming to be a dude, right? Because men don't concern themselves with the female symbol on the side of a package of sanitary napkins, right? And see, now women are going through the same thing that men had to deal with Gillette, when they were calling us toxic masculinity, so you have companies that's doing that, man. They're bending, and it's all to make money. It's not in support of you. That's because it brings in money. It's like if I had a product and I'm selling it, if I really want to sell more of it, all I got to do is put a rainbow on it and say gay friendly, right? But I refuse to sell myself out like that. I'm not going to do that. You can make money doing that, but I refuse to do that, right? So men don't have a problem with what's on the side of a package of sanitary napkins. And if you're claiming to be a dude, then you shouldn't have a problem with what's on the side of a package of sanitary napkins. If every time you look at a package of sanitary napkins and it reminds you of the fact that you're a woman, then the issue is not the packaging, the issue is you. Because you are a woman. Every time you have a period, that's reminding you of who you are. You can't run from you. Whenever you look in the mirror, you may see the image of a man that you took from bits and pieces of different dudes, but at the end of the day, you're still a woman. You still have the emotions of a woman. You still think like a woman, although you try to think like a man. And Steve Harvey helped y'all out with that, right? It said the company will drop the universally recognized symbol from December following an onslaught of tweets insisting that women aren't the only ones who menstruate. Yes, they do. They just don't want to acknowledge the fact that they're still women, right? So we men don't menstruate, and I can't even pronounce that correctly because I don't concern myself with that. That's not even a part of my mental Rolodex until I read about stuff like that. But if you consider yourself a man, you shouldn't be concerned about that. If you have some type of bleeding down there that you can't control because of the fact that you're a woman, and I'm sure that there's surgeries that you can do, I don't know, I guess, to take care of that bleeding if you don't want to bleed, right? Just like you got, you know, dudes that's cutting off their private parts, or tucking it under or whatever, right? But at the end of the day, they're still men. They still think like men. Even though they try to think and act like a woman, they're still a man. It's a decision may have appeased a handful of PC keyboards activists, but it has apparently outraised the bulk of the company's customer base, women, that is. Okay, and here's a news article right here. Now, trans lobby forces always to ditch female logo from its sanitary towels, right? So they're scared. So now they're bending, they're folding to the pressure of a few, right? Feminist campaigner Julie Bendo told the Mail on Sunday that the move is akin to denying the existence of woman. That's what they're trying to do. I've always talked about that. And I got backlash from it, right? But it's important to always stay truthful to yourself, man. It's like, and I think that when it comes to transgenders, as they call themselves, they're not truthful to themselves, man. So they're going to always, as long as they continue to exist on this earth, man, they're going to always have problems. They're going to always find problems with something or a sign hanging on the wall somewhere that reminds them, that continually remind them of who they really are. I don't care how many laws are passed and promoted to make you feel like you that was born a woman is a man, and those of you that were born a man is a woman. I don't care how many laws, man, are enforced to try to make you feel comfortable. At the end of the day, you are who you are, and you can't change that. You may change your name, but you are still you. You're going to always be you. And when your soul leaves your body, you, the original you, which you were designed to be from the very beginning, is going back to the Creator, and you will be judged accordingly. I was trying to say according to that and accordingly together, right? But you will be judged accordingly, according to how the Most High created you to be. And that may be a little harsh or deep for some people, maybe even offensive, because we're living in that society today. And women aren't even as sensitive as these so-called trans females are. These dudes, these people that were born dudes, right? And now want to become a female. Women aren't even that sensitive, right? So men are outdoing the women when it comes to sensitivity. They're too sensitive. Even the dudes that's not transgender, right? And it says, we're now moving towards a total elimination of women's biology. The women's symbol has been used by feminists for decades. This is pure cowardice and virtue signaling from these big corporate brands who are capitulating off of the transgender, she added. The rush to acquire to PC crusaders has led to commentators, even some who identify as trans, to argue that the extreme activism is harming rather than helping the transgender community or the trans community. Now, and we've been saying that for the longest. We've been saying that for a long time. And you guys look label it as being hatred or hating. But at the end of the day, you can't change who you are. You're going to always be who you are. And if you call yourself a man, men just don't concern themselves with it unless, of course, it's some type of psychological thing, man, where it always reminds you of who you are. And you're going to always be reminded of who you are or who you were or claim to be at birth. However you came into this world, you're going to be always reminded of that. Even when it comes to your own mind, unless somehow you have yourself hypnotized or brainwashed or get some type of mental surgery done where it just completely wipes out your thoughts of how you were born, right? You changing birth certificates, you changing driver's license, you changing your complete identity, and even want the rights to not be able to disclose that information to the opposite sex or to the same sex that you're trying to win over. And see, that doesn't make sense to me, because now you have this group of so-called transgender women, people that were born a male and became a woman, that's now lesbian transgender women. These are dudes that transform themselves into women, but they still have interest in women. So they refer to themselves as a bisexual transgender woman. Anyway, I'm not even going to let my mind go there, but this is the world we're living in. I'm not sure if any of y'all saw this article, but it's insane, right? So feedback, tell me what you think, subscribe, share the video, click on the Cash App button, and donate to the channel. Until next time, I'm fearless.